Hi guys. Welcome to the session. Okay, we'll get started 15 to 20 minutes and should be done in 15 minutes. I'm gonna have this little bit kind of a one second. So we'll quickly wrap this up. Okay. Now the most important question when you talk about profile building, just confirm that the audio is clear. अगर audio ठीक है, then we can move ahead. C2C के बच्चे फ्री हो गए? लेक्चर हो गया बच्चों का? Hi Ashish, Mayur, Shubham, Arhant, Vijay. I think they are still. अच्छा हो गया. आज probability था ना? थोड़ा basic था, थोड़ा advanced था. Actually basic was left last time, so sir has continued with the basic. Advanced हमने आज kick start कराया, थोड़ा सा झलक मिल गया होगा आपको advanced का. And probably the next time, like we will need one more lecture for advanced. तो मेरे ख्याल से वो चलेगा. ठीक है? Probability था, right? मैड बच गया क्या आज मॉडर्न मैथ्स आई नो थोड़ा है एडवांस लेवल C2C का काफी फाड़ है उतना कर लेगा तो तेरा कैट का आराम से हो जाएगा that's what hi Shri Krishna hi alright so let's get started अच्छा now lot of time I get to hear this is it really important to have a work experience if you are somebody who is planning for your MBA. Okay. Now there are a couple of things. There are a couple of things that we should take into consideration when it comes to work ex. Okay. Now the argument is you should have it or you should not have it. Now let's look at this argument from both the angles. Something which is in favor and something which is not in favor. Right. Now definitely अगर work ex है तो मेरे ख्याल से उसमें कोई problem तो नहीं है answers है तो है अच्छी बात है. कभी कभी एक डिसएडवांटेज भी होता है एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड टुडे फ्रेशर्स हो गया वर्क का बच्चा हो गया सो पहली बात इज इट रियली इंपॉर्टेंट टू हैव अ वर्क एक्स द आंसर इज नो डेफिनेटली none of the B school has categorically said that you have to have a work ex right there are a couple of them but again that's for the exec which is the executive one उसके लिए तो जरूरी है but when you talk about, when you go for PGP or when you go for an MBA program or let's say PGDM program, right? Shrey, I shall take the questions towards the end of the session. But meanwhile, you can sort of keep posting it. So I can sort of glance through and if there is anything that kicks in my mind, I'll tell you right away, okay? Fair enough. Now, इसमें अभी एक चीज है कि यार अगर मुझे work चाहिए, right, for CAT. So the first thing is that if I have just done with my graduation, right? Then 31st July is what the CAT is asking for. Like till वहाँ तक they'll be taking your work into consideration. A problem ये है there are very few colleges those who will be opening the form later on. And Bangalore and Calcutta they might open the forms later on. When they'll say that कि okay January तक आप अपना work बना दो stage 2 में. There are a lot of students they get recruited by companies in their graduation year. Last year, some B-commerce, BMS, BBA engineers, and then they kind of continue, and they get around about 9 to 10 months of work ex. Now, if you have a work ex which is less than 12 months, you will not be getting any sort of a score for that. You won't be getting any kind of marks for that. Okay? Number one. If you have 10, 11 months, no marks. But then there are certain B schools, they even consider there are certain IMs also. Because new IMs or baby IMs, they also consider 6 months. तो 6 months होगा तो भी आपको 1-2 मार्क्स वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. Again, subject to conditions. So number one, it's not a condition that you have to have a work ex. Now, first thing, what if you do not have a work ex? What can go wrong with your profile? Now, the answer is nothing can go wrong with your profile if you have a good academic record plus good extracurricular plus some certifications. Plus, if you have a fabulous personality, then work experience does not matter. To be very honest, being a panelist, I'm telling you this. I have seen sometimes working guys screwing up the entire interview, and I've seen freshers nailing it. Okay, fine. So, if you have a good academic record, you are sorted. Work experience. Now, understand the premise or understand the background that why do we need work ex? Because people feel that it's good to have work ex because you get to know the organization, you get to know the culture, you get to know this OD type of thing, you get to know about the office politics, healthy politics. Uh, I remember when I say healthy body, I remember Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat would always say that politics is good, but it has to be healthy. But we all know that a healthy politics doesn't really exist. Um, you will actually become a good team player. You also get to learn some leadership and all that stuff. All this I just said is crap. इतना कुछ नहीं होता है. We know एक डेढ़ साल में हम क्या सीखते हैं. I think the best thing that we learn in the corporate world is how to bitch about people and how to play dirty politics, right? ये मोस्टली चीजें हो जाती है. इतना टाइम होता नहीं है. मेरे ख्याल से the document that we would love to see is offer letter जब मिलता है और हर महीना अपने को देखना है कि भाई हमारा सैलरी स्लिप आया कि नहीं आया सिस्टम में. सिंपल सी बात. कितना पीएफ कटा, ज्यादा कटा क्या, मेरी जो लीव्स थी उससे ज्यादा कुछ कटा है क्या. एनीवे जोक्स अपार्ट. तो यार ये एक रैशनल है कि अगर आपको वर्क एक्स है देन वी बिलीव दैट यू आर अ रैशनल पर्सन. I mean, you know what is good and you know what is bad. That's what public believe. That's what corporate India would believe. Something like that. तो मेरे ख्याल से वो एक चीज अच्छी है. Now, let's say if you don't have a work age, then nothing goes wrong if you have other things in place. But let's say if you're not good with academics, if you're not good with internship, projects, research reports, extracurricular, certifications, knowledge about the XYZ thing, then work age आपको थोड़ा help करेगा. The only advantage that I see to crack a B school that work can help you is it can give you a little bit more marks. जैसे अभी IIM अहमदाबाद का मैंने वीडियो पब्लिश करा है, वहाँ पे they say that if you have work which is equal to or more than 12 months and is equal to less than 36 months, you are entitled to get some marks for your work about 36 5 marks as simple as that. वहाँ पे वो help करता है. But again you need to understand visuals, right? अगर work है ही नहीं मेरा तो मेरे 5 मार्क्स वहाँ पे चले गए. बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर मेरा एकेडमिक रिकॉर्ड अच्छा है, राइट, तो वहां पे मैं मार्क्स इकट्ठा कर सकता हूं. अगर मैं कैट में अच्छा कर लूं तो कैट का स्कोर का वेटेज अगर मुझे अच्छा खासा मिल गया तो वहां पे भी मैं मार्क्स ले सकता हूं. अगेन इफ यू आर समबडी हु इज गुड एट कैट, हु इज गुड एट वर्कएक्स, हु इज गुड एट कैट्स, अगर आप 888 हो 999 हो, फिर तो यार मतलब लाइक योर प्रोफाइल इज रियली गुड. ओके, तो वहां पे वो चीजें आती है. देन यू विल गेट दैट ऐड ऑन. सो हैविंग अ वर्कएक्स हेल्प्स यू, राइट. नाउ लेट्स सी सर कितने साल का वर्क होना चाहिए आइडियली अगर लेना है तो. मेरे ख्याल से द बेस्ट नंबर दैट आई सी इज 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years is a fabulous number that I recommend everybody out there. Try to get at least 2 साल के ऊपर 3 साल के नीचे. It's a beautiful work because understand this, when the companies are coming on campus, right, to recruit you, for them 3+ year का बच्चा is little bit no. Sometimes again subject to conditions. Okay, 2 साल का अगर कोई है वर्क में काम आएगा, आपको lateral placement मिल सकता है. There are a lot of good B schools, they give you lateral placements, and Ahmedabad would start with this lateral placement during the month of December. And after 1 month, post a month, once the lateral is done, freshers would start going for it. Because in Ahmedabad what we have is we've got cluster wise placements, तो वो फंडा अलग से होता है. बढ़िया, लैटरल में आपका वर्क एक्स बहुत काम आता है. प्लस लैटरल में वो देखता नहीं है कि आपको रेलेवेंट वर्क एक्स है, नॉन रेलेवेंट है. यू गॉट अ वर्क एक्स 1 2 3 4 इयर्स. कंपनी का जो रिक्वायरमेंट है, इफ यू आर गुड फिट टू इट, सिंपल सी बात है, एलिजिबल फॉर लैटरल. फाइन. अगर वर्क एक्स नहीं है देन यार यू नीड टू डू सम इंटर्नशिप, यू नीड टू ट्राई टू डू सम प्रोजेक्ट्स सो दैट यू कैन कॉम्पेंसेट. Having work एक्स is not a disadvantage. It might turn to be a disadvantage if you have a work एक्स which is more than 5 years or let's say more than 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, something like that. वो ज़्यादा disadvantage होता है. And I have seen people even after having 7-8 years का work experience, they want to do PGP, they want to do full-time program, they want to do full-time MBA, which is a good thing by the way. Now, अगर 4 से 5 साल का work experience आपके पास है, you are a great candidate, there is no doubt about it. But the industry acceptance will be little lesser on the campus. Again, conditions apply. There might be certain companies, they would love your work case if you have like 3 years ka work case, 4 years ka work case. They might take you on board. With respect to profiles like Gen Man, जो मैंने पहले बात करी, right? If you have a relevant work case, let's say 4 years का आपका equity research analyst का work case है, you are sorted. But if your work case is not in sync, you are an engineer, IT person, 4 years, and want to get into finance, there might be a problem, slight problem. ओके, बट वो ज़्यादा डिसएडवांटेज नहीं होता. इसलिए जो भी बच्चों को मैं मेंटर करता हूँ, जो भी मेरे वर्किस वाले बच्चे जिनको मैं मेंटर करता हूँ, आईएम से लेके Jamnalal Bajaj tha, KJ Somay Welling karta. I always tell them, dude, 4 साल का work से it might be in your favor, it might go against you. It's better you take care of your academics very well. And that's the reason I sort of do not encourage them to do a lot of that placement wala cheese, like placement committee join karo, academic admissions committee join karo, cultural committee join karo. I don't sort of encourage them to do all these things because they've already done. You don't really want to polish your personality of like slog for like 4 years in the corporate world. You're already polished man. Fine. ये चीजें काम करती है. तो अगर work ex है, मेरे ख्याल से if you are thinking of getting a work ex, तो यार एक काम करना 2 से 3 साल के बीच में आपका work ex रखना. It works like amazing. Fine. If you don't have a work ex, don't get disheartened when the work ex है नहीं. Try to do some other things. Let's say अगर आपको अभी join करना है work ex, right? अभी आप क्या कर सकते हो? You can start working with a company. Round about आपको 10 महीने का वर्क आ जाएगा. 10 नहीं, उससे भी कम आ जाएगा. But it's good to show on your resume कि हाँ मैंने कुछ किया है. You probably want to do couple of internship or you probably want to do let's say 1 year का. If you are targeting CAT 2021 and if you are just like done with your graduation, you should opt for work. You should opt for work ex because तब तक अगर 12 महीना हो जाता है, you get some extra marks plus at the time of final placement also. It will help you. I hope this is now clear, right? So nobody says that you have to have a work ex. It's very much subjective. If you have it, it's good. Sometimes having a lot of work ex is also like work against you. And last but not the least, always remember, it's always good to have quality of work ex, not the quantity of work ex. If you work with like 4 years in an IT company, you're okay. But let's say if you're somebody who's worked with let's say Goldman or Morgan. Let's say if you're somebody who's worked with IT companies but as an account manager, not the financial account manager, the another account manager where you are a mediator between these two companies. These are the work profile B schools would love, and they would love to take you on board because that's where they feel good. You know what? Your work is a quality and you can be a good fit to B schools, and also at the time of your placement, you will not struggle with those placements. Companies would love to take you on board because you've got a quality of work. That is what is quite important because nowadays we are only looking at the number 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years sort of a number that we are looking at. But we are actually missing on the essence of that work is that okay, I've got to work. Anybody who's got to work is in actually field, sexy, amazing. Anybody who's got to work is on valuation front, amazing. Anybody who's got to work is on AI, beautiful, right? It's a damn cool thing, right? Blockchain, amazing, right? That's what. Anybody who's got to work is on startup, beautiful. B schools love startup. Love startup. They go crazy for startups. I mean, I was talking to one of my students from IFT. I won't disclose the name of the company and the package, but I'll give you a sort of phrase. It's a very renowned company in the world. It's a multinational company, and they actually offered a package which is more than 40. Okay, to one of the students, right? And the experience was with sort of startup, right? तो मेरे ख्याल से ये चीज़ें बहुत ज़्यादा आपको हेल्प करती है if you're the startup, because startup का एक perception होता है that people are working with startup, they are actually getting their hands dirty, so they learn a lot front end से लेके back end. So what we have done in C2C is basically I started with this initiative wherein we will be offering internship to my C2C kids to go ahead with something they should be having on their resume rather than having that entire resume blank. It's better they do something, right? You work like for 2 months, like 3 months, and if they perform very well, they'll continue with us for a year. And once they complete the year, they will be getting a legitimate work experience. So that's how it helps them. पढ़ाई का पढ़ाई भी होता है, work experience भी आ जाता है, days keep on passing, पता भी नहीं चलता 1 साल हो गया, you get work experience, you are making some brownie points on your resume. That looks good, right? Simple. And like that's the way we move ahead. Like that's the initiative that we have taken. Yeah, chalo. Those who really want to work, they can work. I've taken them on board, and once the PI time is up, I will be training all the students for PI. So I can definitely tell them what they have to say when they're in the interview. So if you're somebody who does not have a work case, make it a point that you slog a lot for your CAT exam, get a good score. So you need to be focusing. I'm going to compensate that work extra thing out here. But again, for top-notch B school for ABC, it would matter. It actually helps because their first screening will have that work ex component. But again, they're not asking you for any sort of documents to be submitted out there. You can just fill up the data. You can maybe it's a sort of a futuristic work ex that you want to get into. But do not fake your work ex. That's not the good thing to do, because you might not be knowing this. I don't know what happens in the tier 2 and tier 3 colleges, but I'm very sure that all the top 10, top 15, top 20 schools, they do cross verify every shit that you've written on your resume. Every single goddamn point they will be cross verifying. I've got my students in ABC, I've got my students in KIL, you know the stuff what's happening there. So anything that you want to write about your work ex, make it a point that it's clean. There are no gray areas in there. Okay, fair enough. So that's it from my side. I'll say 15 minutes as promised, done. If you have any questions, shall be taking that question. Okay. Data analyst, beautiful. For infy, amazing, amazing. That's a good work case. That's a good work case. Fresher engineer, 2 months internship in big data at Reliance Industries, 3 months internship at ED. Okay, edit. Okay, tech startup. Okay, business development. It's good enough. It's good enough. It is that stick around. Don't hop on, hop off. Yeah. BPO work case is a good work case. Absolutely, it's a good work case. Whichever institute you are from, whatever coaching institute that you have joined, right? Make it a point that you speak to that mentor out there and take some help from him or her to prove that BPO will work case. Yeah, as simple as that. Not getting any support, come to CTC, will help you out. Already 3.5 years of work case. Is it bad? Shubham, it's not bad. See, they're on a good front. The only problem is that, Shubham, if you want to shift to, let's say, finance, convincing will be a little bit problem. But then if you really want to get into, let's say, IT, analytics, business analytics, AI, you want to get into blockchain, you want to get into GenMan, you want to get into ITS or marketing sort of profile, this work is pretty cut. So that helps you. Again, seniors need to understand, right? Engineer, work with IT for like 3.5 or 4 years, MBA, operations, MBA marketing, MBA finance, joining IT company will be cherry on the cake, yeah? That helps. और ये help बहुत करता है. अब देखना यार, फाइनेंस की अगर बात करेंगे, IT कंपनी का 50% रेवेन्यू फाइनेंस कंपनी से ही आता है. तो अगर आप कहते हो कि यार आई एम MBA in finance, मैंने IT में 4 साल वर्क करा है, I am the best product. You don't have to hire 2 people. You can hire me, and you're done for it. ये बहुत अच्छा. See, it's all about how you place it, yeah, how you play with it, right? It's all about how you place it and how you play with it. Simple सी बात. But हाँ, 4-5 साल हो गया तो ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. 3.5 साल is a good number मेरे ख्याल से. If you want to stop, you can stop here. But again, I have nobody to tell you because you have your own priorities to take care of, right? Mithil, sir, astounding extracurricular is gonna work for SPGN. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Can you use freelancing as a work case? You can. Why don't you just start with a small company? You might want to spend like a couple of grands. Start a sole proprietorship. Sort of, create a website of your own business. You can show that you're a freelancer. It becomes legitimate. That can fetch you some good marks here. Like ban jayega. Is having both service-based and product-based work case an add-on? Deepak, yes, it's an add-on. It is definitely an add-on because you know best of both the world. Your chances of getting into any sort of a company that comes and be useful in these 2 areas goes up. That's good. What else? Last couple of questions quickly. Okay. Work is from a small pharma company. Chalega. See, they do not look into which company you've worked for. Big company, let's say like mid cap, small cap, like big shot, they don't. What we school is looking for is what you have done. That's simple as that. So they don't really want to understand with whom you have worked. They just want to understand what you have done in those 2 years, in those 3 years, right? If you've done the same shit that everybody is doing, it's not that a big deal. So placement हो जब होता है college में, towards the end, it might not add to get selected because your work is not that kind of eye catch, something like that. तो वो help नहीं करेगा. Fine, quality है, तगड़ा help करेगा. For selection in B school also and towards the end also, even for summer for that matter. तो ये help है यार, मतलब ये change चलते जाएगा. ये आपको हरदम help करेगा. That's what you need to understand. And let's say if you're somebody who are, let's say, maybe a CA, like IPCC do something like that, or maybe a CFA, and you work with, let's say, one of the big 4, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, whatsoever, and you intend to sort of join these companies back again, then that company will help you because they know if the Deloitte mostly goes on every single campus, I would say. So they say that ये तो अपना ही बच्चा है, पहले हमारे साथ काम कर चुका है. This is the profile. Why don't you just come and join us? So that helps actually. Okay. Sir, say to a student, plan a startup of e-waste recycling, how to show it. Actually, उसका लोड ना ले, वो सब मैं कर दूँगा. I'll take care of that. I'll tell you how to show it and what to do, all this stuff. Don't worry about that. How do I show my family business as a working? So you can definitely do that. You just have to have an affidavit, wherein it can be said that to whomsoever it may be concerned, falana person is working for the XYZ position from this day to this day, and drawing a salary of like whatever, like per annum, per month, whatever, and then have your company's common seal attached to it. You are done for it. Okay, cool guys. That's it from my side. A lot of questions. I won't be able to take everything. Working for TCS, our client is SBI. Is it okay other than this? I have no certificate. Abhishek Gupta, I think that's fine. That's fine. Sir, people tell me junior accounting executive won't count. Is it so? No, yaar, ऐसे कुछ होता नहीं है. Everything gets count if you have worked somewhere. Okay, doing business online through चल से वो भी चलेगा, not a problem. Any less than 1 year job X of any use? Actually not. मैं अभी कहा था, you won't get marks. But guys, that's it from my side. Thank you so much. I just talked about freelancing also, yeah. Okay, cool. So I will be doing these sessions mostly every day, wherein I will be talking about this sort of profile, जो भी है extracurricular की बात करेंगे. I will talk about these research projects and all that, right? All these things will be discussed in the night lecture. So you can always tell me, what sort of topic you would love to hear from my side. Also, I want to do this IIM Ahmedabad ka revised admission criteria. They have changed the criteria. Need some suggestion, you can put it on the video once it's published as a comment. You want to do this live lecture or you want to do this recorded? If you are okay for recorded, just put recorded. If you want this to be live, I can come live and we can discuss, yeah? That's it from my side, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a good night. Bye-bye.